Hey guys, welcome back to Built by Schultz. Today we're going to do some general maintenance on XjShizzle here. I have a front diff cover that's leaking. When you beat them on rocks, things happen. So when I go ahead and it's not a big leak, it's a puddle like that every night if after I drive it. So I'm going to go ahead and redo the uh, uh, silicone on the front diff cover. I'm going to go ahead and check the gears. Then through the front end, I'm going to do some general maintenance, check nuts, bolts, make sure everything's tight, make sure everything is properly where it needs to be instead of where it's not supposed to be. I'll look for cracks in the front end and stuff. And then when we get done with that, if we have time, I want to go ahead and drop the transmission pan just to, it leaks. So I want to go ahead and pull the pan, clean up both sides, re-silicone a gasket in there, tighten it back up, fill it full of fluid. We should be ready to go. So that's basically what we're doing today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, guys. So up here on the table, I have my tools I'm going to need. I had Allens all the way around, and then as they kind of got drug on rocks and started wearing, like this one here, I have replaced them with bolts. So I have a mixture of both. So I went down to my local nut and bolt place and grabbed washers and bolts to replace them all with fresh ones. I have my gear oil with 7590. I understand synthetic oils aren't good for the diff, the lockers and stuff. So I'm not running this. This is my standard what I'm running. And I have a Dex Merc oil for the transmission that I'm going to use. And then, of course, my cleaner. And then I got this stuff here. I've never tried this. It's Permanex rye stuff in a can. So we're going to go ahead and try that and see how that works. So it says it's good for transmission pans, and don't see why it wouldn't be too bad for the diff cover either. So anyways, that's the tools I have out for right now. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. You can tell the bottom screw or the bottom bolt on it is going to be a problem underneath because that's what hits first. So let's get started and see where this takes me. All right, guys. Let's see if I can get lucky on this. A lot of times with dragging over rocks with the Allen here, it'll get full of dirt. So you want to get up in there with a pick and just clean all that out. So that way you have your socket or whatever you're going to use in there to get a good bite. So I'm going to start with the hardest one first because I have a feeling this one's going to be a pain in the butt here. Let's see. Oh, jeez. There we go. That one came off actually easier than I thought it was going to come out. I'm not going to take that one. Well, yeah, I can take that one out all the way. As you see, I have a big heavy-duty diff cover here. And what I mean by that, if you guys can see that, it's kind of grounded off from hitting rocks and stuff. All right, let's see. I have more up here, and they're going to be a different size. I lucked out by putting a smaller one on the one that was all bent, pushed in. turn it just a little bit. That way I can kind of more of a straight shot to get that one off. There we go, right there. Okay, so I have all of the screws off except for the top one, and it's loose, so it should. There we go. Come on out. Oil looks good. Doesn't look shiny. Nothing. It looks really good, actually. I thought about countersinking these holes, but that would probably be pretty good afterthought. I have countersinks and everything, but I already got the bolts, so we'll just put regular bolts back in it. All right, there we go. Okie dokie. Grab a rag. That is not a good sign, guys. I have some broken teeth. Yep. This is not what I wanted to do. Do not want to spend money on rebuilding a front end, but it looks like the front end has seen better days. Like I said, we do use these. These are not vehicles that we baby. I mean, we don't beat on them, but and this front end has approximately, I don't know, 2 Rubicon trips. This front end is probably about 4 years old. All right, let's get a better look at it. All right, guys. Well, as you can see, I got the diff cover off. I was excited that the oil was clear, but then it wasn't. And as I roll it around, I'm missing some teeth. So that is not a good sign. So what I'm going to do now is clean it out, call in the Jeep, and see what it's going to take for me to take it in and get the diff gears. The locker works. The locker's actually fairly new. So all I could say is, maybe it is a Dana 30, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not a big, I mean, look, it's a small diff. But this is called maintenance. If I didn't take this off and to fix that oil leak, I would have not even known it was there. And who knows what I would have found next. So, yeah, we got panels. We definitely got some uh, metal shavings in there. I'm gonna have to grab a magnet and clean that out. So I really didn't want to have to put a 44 in this thing. Like I said, we're trying to save up. That's all metal. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to clean that out and be back with you in a second. All right, then on the cover, I'm going to go ahead and scrape all this old silicone off. Get it as clean as possible. Normally what I would do after I get this all cleaned up, I would kind of sand down the outer face and repaint it with my orange. But since this has got to come back apart, there's no reason to go ahead and paint it. So I will just clean all that stuff out. Get as much as this off as possible. Like I said, guys, I have these gearing on this Jeep has been through. Oh, it's been through Moab. It's been through Rubicon twice. It's been all over our mountains, all over Southern California, part of Northern California, Utah. So it's not like I'm so surprised. I mean, things wear out. Things happen. It's not the Jeep's fault. It's not the gear's fault. It's just and normally we don't trailer these either. Usually we'll drive them to Utah. We'll drive them to Arizona, or we'll drive them up north. So it's not like we trailer them everywhere. And as you can tell, we do bounce them off rocks. So it's always good to have a good diff cover. Okay, we got all that clean. There's nothing in there. All right. Go over it one more time here. I'm not really too worried about getting that clean. It's gonna come apart. So, my son has these little discs he gets on. We get them at Harbor Freight. We get them at Swap Meet. Little sanding disc goes in your drill. Okay, spray that again. Especially when you're dealing with anything with gears, transmissions, motor, you want to make sure that it is as clean as possible. Now this stuff here is kind of new to me. Gasket maker, high flexibility, oil resistance. Huh, interesting. Traction, surface should be clean. It's clean and dry. Place nozzles to push, especially right. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Is there guess you gotta be smarter than the thing. Oh, screw nozzle into place. I did. And dispense the right stuff. Oh, here we go. Just gotta push on it a little bit harder. All right, this is my new favorite thing. Oh, this is awesome. This is amazing. What? That is cool. I'm definitely going to have to use that again, which I will be on the diff. Since we're there, I'm going to go ahead and I'll do the new bolts. I think my local nut and bolt place, I got 25 of them just so I have backup. They were nuts and bolts were $8. Can't go wrong there. All right. I think I got plenty. Where is my... Grab another of these. These things, they go on sale at Harbor Freight. These are the best little things. They even keep them in the Jeep. Just in case we're out on trail and we need to work on something. I did get a grade 8 bolt washer. That's more than plenty. Okay. Let's put those down there. Set this down at the bottom. Turn you around. Let you guys down here in a second. All right. Now you guys are all jostled up. Hope you're not sick. I'm going to go ahead and recheck everything under here. Make sure it seems clean. You only have to drive about 25 miles. I think that's how far the Jeep is. Let's see here. This goes like that. This will go up here like that. I normally would do the top one, but the top one is a little harder to get to. Okay. They said this stuff dries within an hour. I'll probably give it a little bit more time than that. And that's why I grabbed extra, because that one's in the the yucky oil. Okay. And normally what you want to do with these, after you get them all in there, is just kind of snug them up. And then after you snug them up, let it sit. It says an hour. I'll probably let it sit farther than that. Won't need that. I'll need those just to run it in. Okay. And I will let that set up. It says it'll be in an hour. So it is 5 o'clock now. So 6 o'clock, I'll come out here and torque those down, pull that out, and then put some oil on it so I can get it to Sean's. And unfortunately, sacrificial oil, because it's going to be garbage once I get down there. All right, so that's the diff. While we're down there, I am going to grab some tools. Let's see here. And now while I'm down here, I'll go ahead. I got a bunch of different socks. I got a bunch of different sizes down here. Kind of clean this up a little bit. Okay. Then I'll come underneath some of the bigger stuff. I'll just put a sock or a wrench on it. Kind of make sure that it's tight. I'll run them on all the ball cut or the ball joint bolts or nuts, just to make sure they're snug. Because sometimes they will back up a little bit or wear. So those are all nice and snug. I know there's a cotter pin in it, but if they were loose, they would move. So I just did all this, and I took the cotter pins out, put them back in. And then while I'm down here, I'll check all my gussets and brackets and making sure that I don't see any cracks anywhere. Everything's nice and tight. Don't see anything cracked here. And that looks good. You can see we drag stuff. We've dragged a lot of things. Yeah, I just did the ball joints not too long ago. One thing that always loosens up on me too is my anti-rock, and I always check my steering box. So anti-rock is tight. And usually the anti-rock, the only thing that happens there is it might rattle a little bit. That was a little loose. Two. And then I'll kind of look over my belts, my pulleys, and make sure everything is tight. And then the bolts for my steering. What size is that? So make sure all my steering is nice and tight, which I know I just did those. That's something that seems to come loose a lot. So if you guys are looking for something to check all the time, the 3 bolts that hold your steering box in is very important. And then my pan hard bolt tight. Pan hard bolt is also something that you need to check on. This one's a pain in the butt. It's back behind. It's back up and behind here, and there's no easy way of grabbing it. So get a socket or get something on it, and make sure it's nice and snug. Okay, that's tight. And the reason why I grab a crescent wrench is because see how fast I'm going through everything to make sure everything's tight. The anti-rock bolts on both sides. That one's a little loose. And remember, these things flex all over the place. So just want to make sure you got those tied on there. Okay. All right. So everything here is pretty much. Stop peeking my light. There we go. Everything's nice and tight. Then I'll crawl underneath, look at the hoses, look at the belt, make sure I don't see any cracks, look for any external leaks. Everything looks good. And the reason why I use a crescent wrench is for the big nut on the pitman arm. Yeah, it's tight. Cool. So I think that will do it for underneath right here until I come back and tighten this and fill this. So I put most of those tools away, and then we'll get started on transmission link. All right. On to the next. I'll be changing oil and everything on a Jeep. This is probably my least favorite because no matter how hard you try, it's just so messy. When you get hopefully you guys can see okay. You bring you over a little bit more. Hopefully that's good. Let's see here. Basically, you have a drain plug, which is great. Oh, wrong size. But the cool thing is, not so cool thing is that this is indented, which I get, but then it still holds a bunch of oil. So with this also, you need to be kind of careful. I'm going to spin this off and make a mess. Or not. Who needs to do setups when you just get up and down off your underneath your Jeep every 5 minutes? So there we go. That's tighter than normal. So we'll take this. Everything should be cold, so we shouldn't have to. And I just did a service on this, and it should be clean, which it is. So we're going to go ahead and let this thing drain. Where's the... I'm going to take this here. Oh, I forgot to turn it loose. Take this out. And it's going to leak more because I pushed down on it. It's going to leak more oil. Like I said, there's no way of getting around this without making a mess. Period. That's how much oil it's up in there. After you drain it already. There's got to be another quart. And once I get all that down, there'll probably still be a lot more. All right, now we have oil pan back out. I did go over to my metal tab, a flat half-inch metal welding bench that I put it flat on and flattened this back out. As you can tell, inside here you got two magnets. They catch like metal debris and stuff. That's normal. That's nothing to worry about. So I'll take those, clean those real quick. Put them back in there. Like I said, that's all normal wear and tear. Nothing big or bad about that. Take cleaner. We'll clean it out real quick. I use all the old nasty rags that I'm never going to use again because this stuff is horrible. Then I'll take a razor blade, cut all this out. Majority out like that. Okay. This sucks doing this, but you gotta clean, you gotta get all around. I don't know why I have so many razor blades, but I do. Okay, and we'll take that drill pad thing, Jonathan. Should be another, a newer. That's it. We're still organizing the garage. So these are. Good time to fast forward all this. This is really time to watch. All right, keep cleaning this. I'll get here and short it. All right, so we got everything underneath. Trip over you guys. Got everything underneath clean. Got this all cleaned out really good. Running around all the corners, make sure I got nothing in here. I'm even going to spray this out a little bit here. Make sure nothing fell in there. Wipe it off really good. Just like that. Now this is going to be the fun part because I got to stick it up in there. Get the transmission tube up in there and then slide it all up and clear everything. I really like this stuff. This stuff's pretty good. Of course, must be drunk. I can't get a straight line. Stuff works really good. I like this. I think I got enough on there. It's like baking a cake. Pretty cool. All right, now this is the fun part. This is really going to suck because I have to go underneath there, slide it up in there, make sure everything lines up, and make sure that seals up in there. Gosh dang, come on, get off there. There we go. All right, back underneath the Jeep. All right, let's get back underneath there. I should repaint this, but I'm not going to. Should have came out and cleaned this place before I crawl underneath this thing. All right. There's that. There's all the screws. All right. Really kind of need to be on the other side. So I can line up that stupid. Line up the. There we go. Give me this. Ooh, I guess that stuff that I was using on the. There we go. Get up in here. Okay. I do the shoes. Oh, they're right here. What I need to do is find this so I can where did I do the drill? There it is. Okay. There's that. There's one out of how many? Quite a bit. That. I need okay. There's that one. What's going on? This pen is fighting the stupid. There we go, right there. Pen is fighting the oil dips or the transmission dipstick thingy. And it says this stuff dries pretty quick, but I think I'm just gonna let it sit for overnight. Because I'm in no rush. I'm not driving it because of the front differential. So I am just kind of snugging them up in there. That way it's all nice and it's a little too much. And I'll get down here and I'll torque them tomorrow. Cat-like reflexes. Did you guys see that? Okay. Okay. To take that one out. All right, what else I got over here? I got this one here, that one there, one back here. I got one left. Where's it go? Where did you go? Right there. Cool. So I got all these tightened up. I got snugged up. And then tomorrow, I will come out here and torque them all up like they're supposed to be, and then put oil in them. And then I'll go ahead and hook plug this in. So this goes there. If I can figure out how to plug that in. There. All right. Sometimes the easiest things are the hardest things. Oh, there's your problem. It won't go sideways. Okay. Cool. All right. So that's all done. I guess I should maybe put the paint on that. Who knows? So tomorrow I'll come out. I will torque all these down and then put oil in it. So we are done until tomorrow. See you guys then. All right, guys. Everything down below is secure. I got my Dexmark Valvoline in here. And I'm going to pour the whole thing in here because I know my Jeep. I'm going to start pouring a little bit. I'm looking underneath. Make sure I didn't miss nothing. Oh, good sign. Good start. Let it slowly fill up. Now I'll take the empty one, go over there and fill up the old oil I just emptied. Go ahead and let that drain. Always keep my Jeep on a tender. I have a lot going on inside my Jeep. One is I just got my there we go. I have a lot going on in my Jeep. I have I got stuff charging. It goes to the back. I don't know. It drains, so I always keep my Jeep on a tender. I think it's also good for the battery. Let's see here. That is empty. Grab that. Go ahead and put that in there. Now I'm going to have to add a little bit more. But let's go ahead and start it up. Go ahead and let it start up. Let me turn the AC off. I don't need the AC on right now. Oh, okay. Coming in here, I'm going to drop it down to 1, 2, 3, neutral, reverse, back down to 1, 2, 3, neutral, back to reverse. And I'm going to do that a few times Get the oil circulating. Put that thing in neutral. Make sure if you're on a driveway or something, make sure you go ahead and chalk your tires, because you need to check this in neutral. Come in here and I'll pick this up. Now the suck thing is when you fill it up, you get oil all up and down the tube so that it collects. So you got to really look at it. And one side's got a hot side, and the other side's got a cold side. So you need to make sure you look at the cold side or the hot side. We're on the cold side right now. I need just a little bit more. I think this one's got about half a quart in it. Let that drain. I go ahead and go through the gears again. Okay. Perfect. Right there. Check underneath to see if I got anything leaking, which I don't. It's always a good sign. Back you guys up a little bit here. I always keep a funnel underneath. It's easy to hang on to it. All right, guys. Well, in this episode, we have done the front axle reseal. Found out the front gears are blown out of it, so we're gonna take that to Inland Jeep and have them fix that. Uh, and then we did a transmission pan reseal where dropped the pan, cleaned everything up, so we siliconed it, bolted it back up. We didn't need to do a filter because I already did that. So yeah, tighten some stuff up in the front end. Besides the front gears, we're ready to rock and roll. I will crawl underneath the Jeep with my grease gun. I'll re-grease all the inserts, and we should be good. So, all right, guys. Sorry, Jonathan wasn't in this episode, but you know, he has an adult, and I get off at 5 o'clock, which it's after that now. So he won't be home till probably 6:30. It is Friday, so traffic's gonna suck. But all right, guys. Well, hopefully we'll see you guys out on the trail. Keep the rubber side down, and we'll see you next time.